Well, we've just had a miserable month where we lost most of our games, but unbelievably, we're still very much in a promotion push. So, yay for the lower leagues, because everyone's as inconsistent as we are. Hello and welcome to part 77 of It's Coming Home. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have games in League One against Portsmouth and Hull, both away games, both against arguably two of the biggest teams in the league. Probably Ipswich would have something to say about that, I imagine, but looking around, Bradford might have something to say as well. There's some big teams in this league, and we're playing two of them now, and we're playing it off the back of some rough form. November was tough. We got thumped by Chorley in the FA Cup. We lost 3-0 away from home against a National League North team. We used to be the kings of the giant killing. I think that's the first time we've ever been giant killed. We were absolutely outplayed and battered. We then lost 3-0 against Luton in the league as well, which I think Luton are up there challenging us, are they? They are. So it's not a bad thing necessarily that we lost to them, but the way we lost was horrible. We then lost to Fleetwood in the Mickey Mouse Cup that no one cares about, but we also lost against them in the league. The only bright point was beating Burton 4-1, and Burton are another team who are in and around the playoff mix, so it's weird. On our day we can still play quite well. Worryingly, it seems like our day is usually at home, and we've now got two away games against big teams. Portsmouth are in 9th, Hull are in the relegation zone. Goodness me. That's a game we should win. Should we go and try and do that? I think that's probably for the best, that we go and try and win that game. This is the team that we're going to be putting out there to try and do exactly that. We have got a couple of selection headaches. If we just narrow this down to senior squad, you can see Baconson is suspended. He got sent off in the Fleetwood game, which is largely why we lost it, because he got sent off in like the first minute. Proctor's injured. Lerick Fernandez is injured as well. So we're not quite full strength, but it still looks like a decent team. I don't know why we've got him down as a ball-playing defender. That is absolutely not what he is. Robertson, I think he's making his league debut. Robertson is our record signing, Tony Robertson, who we brought in on the basis that he's got good potential and will be a good defender for us eventually. Looking back, probably shouldn't have spent 30 grand on him because we don't have 30 grand. He's played in a couple of the cup games and we lost them. So now he's in the team for the league. Humphreys is in goal. A back four of Wearmouth, Robertson, Wright and Gregson, with Perry, McCormick and Sawinski in midfield. Lloyd in behind Harris and Matondo. As ever, the story of this season is let's just try and score more goals than they do. I understand that defence isn't great. Robertson might become a very good defender. That was why we signed him, but he's absolutely not there yet. We want to get revenge. Revenge on Portsmouth. That's what it's all about. The rest of the defence and the goalkeeper in particular, all a bit ropey. I think the two fullbacks would probably argue that they're actually not too bad, Gregson and Wearmouth. And Wright is not too bad, but obviously two of those three are here on loan, and the defence is definitely an area that we're going to need to strengthen. Or maybe go back to playing a holding midfield player to offer them a little bit of protection. The only issue with doing that is the holding midfield player would be Shane Phillips, and Shane Phillips might not be good enough to play in League One. He's in a similar situation to Mick Powell of, is he really a League One player, or is he only here because he's been here all along? Is he a nostalgia player? We don't have room for nostalgia. We're 1-0 down. I think we are going to have to do something about this. It's probably not even the defence. The personnel in defence are probably good enough to be okay, but I think we probably need a system that protects them a little bit more. But then that's a sentence I said so very many times whilst managing Nuneaton last year, and we just ended up doing this and thinking, you know what, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many goals we're conceding. If we're good enough going forward, we'll win more often than we lose. And Dean Lloyd, 5th goal of the season now for him. He's already got signing of the season sewn up, I think, because he's just an incredible talent as that playmaker in behind the front two, scoring goals for fun, getting lots of assists, playing very well. I think he's still played less than 12 games of professional football, and he is pulling all the strings for a promotion-chasing team in League One. He is going to be a player, and we need to make sure we extend that loan in January. That's got to be our number one target for January's transfer window business, extend the loan of Dean Lloyd for another year, because we'd be lost without him. That's terrible from Humphreys. That is just awful. Offside. Excellent stuff. Humphreys has got away with it there. I don't know how he's beaten at the near post. He's a big lad. He's beaten at shoulder height at the near post. He literally just has to stumble to one side and he can make that save. Right, we still want to avenge. Right, second half. Let's go out there. I'm trying to do that as a seamless cut. I don't remember what I said just beforehand. Postman's just come. I've got my new Galaxy Buds have just arrived. And a Google Home Mini. Available for free if you have Spotify Family. Which I do. That's not an advert. It's just a thing that they do for free. They've both arrived. I like new tech. And now I'm excited about that. I'm going to be distracted for the rest of this video now because I want to play with my new toys. Right. Let's celebrate the arrival of Kev's new toys with victories. We want victories in this episode. We've only played one game, haven't we? I don't even remember. It's ridiculous. I'm so distracted now. I'll finish this video tomorrow if you've enjoyed this. No, I'm tempted. If I was streaming, I'd absolutely stop streaming at this point. But I'm not. I'm going to battle through. I'm a professional. Let's have 10 minutes of passion. I'm excited. Let's celebrate with some passion. Harris is not playing very well. Oh, it just annoys me so much that doesn't work. Mick Powell's going to come on. If we're in the middle of 10 minutes of passion, Mick's going to want to come on and get in on that. He loves a bit of passion. Shane Phillips can come on in the midfield. McCormick can play on that side of it. We've done this a little bit recently when I've been a little bit worried about us defensively. I switched to this. And this might be the system that we end up using, but probably not with Mick Powell as a part of it because he doesn't score enough goals. I felt I'd been too positive about him this episode. I had to balance it out a little bit. Right. There's Connor Stanley is pushing for game time, but the only place he can come in is for Lloyd, and Lloyd is the best player on the pitch by a mile. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to bring on Matondo. Swan can play as a deep line forward alongside Powell. These two have been playing together in all of the cup competitions. That's right, the cup competitions you've been watching us lose in, or not. I've been watching us lose in. You've just been hearing about it. So they're not the best strike partnership in the world, but at least they are starting to form a partnership. Lloyd has missed out on the ball there, and hopefully we're not going to get punished for that because he's played so well recently. But I guess he's been the bright hope in a team that's been losing a lot of games. So is he really all that? Or am I just... everyone else is playing poorly, so it makes him look better. I'm now questioning whether he's any good. That's a lovely interception there from Wearmouth, but it's got him behind him again there, and he's alert to it again. Wearmouth, what a defender, but again, he's giving it straight back to them. He can do the defending bits, but he can't do the clearing it bits. All he can do is throw himself in the way, but once he's got the ball, he does nothing useful with it. We're going to try and finish the game passionately. I don't know, we can't blame Wearmouth there. He's done well both times, and both times, because we're so narrow further forward, he's tried to clear it, and there's nobody to clear it to, because we've narrowed the team even more by coming into the diamond and bringing Phillips on. You could argue that I've actually, and now he's injured, because he knows, is it hurt feelings? No, that's all right then. Right, we're going to go without a left back for the last 2 minutes. What's the worst that could happen? Right, McCormick is fouled. Oh, goody, they're going down to 10 men in the last... I mean, we've played a minute too long already. That's not helped us at all. But now at least now the media reports will say Holme failed to beat 10-man Portsmouth. Can we conjure up a defeat? I think we can conjure up a defeat here. And December has started as miserably as November ended. Oh... yeah, that wasn't very good. I've done that calmly, and I think I'm not as calm as I've given the impression I am there. We need to start turning things around against Hull, or we're going to have another season of... I mean, another season of a playoff push isn't the worst thing in the world. We're still not ready for the championship, but I'm conscious that we need to progress with the series. So we want to get promoted this year. We need to beat Hull. A few changes for the Hull game then. Palliot comes in at left back because Wearmouth is injured for the next month or so. It wasn't hurt feelings, it was hurt ribs apparently. Proctor comes back in at centre back now. He's fit again to play alongside Wright, and Fernandez comes back into the midfield at the expense of Perry. But sad news, Connor Stanley has requested a transfer, and I can kind of understand why. He's 24 years old. This is his 7th season with us now. He's been a first-team regular for the first 6 of those seasons, playing over 200 games, and he's not played at all yet this season. So, yeah, I can understand why Connor Stanley would be ready to move on. I think we probably are committed to this system for as long as we've got those 3 players available to us in midfield. I don't see myself dropping Fernandes, McCormick or Sawinski to get Stanley and Tyler back into the team. So, yeah, it's a sad day. Right, I haven't had to do that team talk for a while. I fully expect our poor run of form to end here. We're still only 5 points off the top of the league. Still only 2 points off of automatic promotion, which is nuts. But we are in terrible, terrible form. We've lost, what, 6 of our last 7 games? Or something equally horrific. But Hull are rock bottom of the league now. They're 6 points away from safety themselves. They're in even worse form than we are. You would think if we're going to turn our form around, this would be the game where we do it. Sawinski plays it across to, I don't even know who he was aiming for. Palyuk picks it up. Palyuk tucks it into Fernandes. Back out to Palyuk again. Cross comes over from Matondo. And second bite at the cherry for Matondo. And he still doesn't tuck it away. Matondo's still the top scorer in the division. But he could have had another one there. Palyuk with the corner doesn't beat the first man. It comes as far as Lloyd, and it's back with Palyuk again, who once again can't get his cross over into any kind of useful area of the pitch. My word, is it frustrating managing home today. Right, Matondo, lovely flick on for Sawinski, who again can't get a crossover, and it ends up with Fernandes on the opposite side. Tucks it back into Palyuk. Palyuk with the cross, finds Lloyd. Lloyd to Sawinski, and there's a goal. 1-0 up. Sawinski's 5th goal of the season. Lloyd must be in double figures for assists at this point, and it's everything good that we do at the moment comes through Dean Lloyd. He is very quickly becoming my favourite player in the entire team, which, considering he's not homegrown, he's not a permanent player, he's not a striker, I don't think I've ever had a favourite player like him. He reminds me of when James Ball was first with Nuneaton on loan last year. Similar sort of age, similar sort of stage of the save. I think Ball might have joined us probably in the conference rather than League One, but it felt that similar sort of stage. And yeah, he ended up becoming one of the greatest players ever to appear on this channel. So really, really, really want to make sure we can tie Lloyd down to an extended loan, because he's becoming a hero of mine very quickly. There's Lloyd again. Ball over the top for Anthony Harris to chase. Harris is in, and Harris should have scored. 3 clear-cut chances for us now. So, in fact, that move's not over. The highlight was, though. Palyuk did make it there just as the camera decided to drift away into whatever it decided to focus on next. Nothing, basically. We'll have a look at the league table rather than seeing Palyuk fail to cross once again. Right. Team talk for half-time. Yeah, you've played well, but there's still room for improvement. I think that's fair, because we should be more than 1-0 up against Hull. But we have created 3 clear-cut chances, so we are playing well, but we do need to get a little bit more clinical with the finishing. With a strike partnership like Matondo and Harris, we should be scoring 2 or 3 goals every game. They're that good. And especially with Lloyd and Sawinski and Fernandes behind them, there should be chances on a plate for them constantly. And to be fair, there has been 3 clear-cut chances and a half chance today. So the chances have been there. We're just not scoring them. And we need to get back into the habit of scoring our chances again, because then we'd be comfortably ahead and not worrying about what Hull we're up to here. Here's Lloyd once again running free with the ball, plays it out to Harris. We've got Matondo in the middle. Harris can't get the crossover though, and I've lost count of how many times I've said that just in this episode. Players getting into good positions and just failing with any kind of end product. Right, we need to change the strikers again. I think we're going to try Powell and Harris together, because we know they can do it. We'll take Matondo. If we're going to leave Harris on for 10 minutes, because we don't really have another striker to bring on. Ian Morton apparently can play there, but I'm not interested in bringing on a striker who can play there. But we will take off McCormick and bring on Shane Phillips, but we're not going to drop Phillips back. We're going to leave him as part of the midfield 3. Just hope that I'm thinking I want Shane Phillips and Mick Powell to bring their leadership qualities onto the pitch. It's the perfect time to have 10 minutes of passion. They're two of our team leaders. They're the two players who've been here all the way through. They should want to win more than anybody else. Lloyd does brilliantly again, but can't quite conjure up a finish. And it's Palliak to take the corner, the man who can't cross. And again, doesn't beat the first man. Palliak, once again, failing. I need to probably take him off of corners and just tell him to try to avoid kicking the ball, really. Palliak plays it forward to Lloyd. Lloyd dinks it in to Sawinski. There's Mick Powell, and there's his 8th goal of the season. Mick Powell, he's doing a Mick Powell this season. He's starting to look like himself again after a good 2 or 3 years of not really being the same player. I mean, he's obviously not conference Mick Powell, but he's a very useful squad player to have around, and I'd like to think between him and Shane Phillips, they did bring their leadership qualities and their close to 600 appearances between them onto the pitch, and that's what's led to the second goal there. And we should start to feel a little bit more comfortable at this point. I'm tempted to bring Connor Stanley on, but I don't know where I'd put him. But I don't want him to leave. I want to give him game time, so we're going to do this. There you go. Connor Stanley's on the pitch. Huzzah. Let's see if this weird lopsided system works. He might enjoy playing with Lloyd just inside him. Right, Gregson. Gregson again. Plays it back to Wright. All the way back to Humphreys, who hopefully can't mess up from here. Finds Proctor. Proctor back to Humphreys. We're just keeping hold of the ball now. Just going to knock it around a little bit, which is probably the right thing to do at this stage of the game. That was poor from Powell. And it's left us in a little bit of trouble here. And Humphreys makes the save. He made it look a lot more difficult than it should have been, but the save was made all the same. And now it's Palliak with the throw. Plays it forward to Fernandez. Fernandez into Lloyd. Look at the state of that control from Lloyd. What a wonderful player. Plays Connor Stanley and then continues his run. Cross to Mick Powell. And Powell's done it again. A Connor Stanley cross to a Mick Powell volley. It's like it's 2019 again. Or 2020 maybe. When did Connor Stanley sign? But that is not a goal I expected to see scored in League One, but they've left Mick Powell in so much space, and you give him time and space and he's still a finisher. His issue has never been scoring goals. Okay, it's sometimes been scoring goals. Lloyd with the free kick, and we've scored. Have we scored again? Mick Powell's got a hat-trick. I don't even know how. Mick Powell has come off the bench and scored a hat-trick in League One. Lloyd with the free kick. Let's try and work out what's going on here. It's just a goalmouth scramble, and that's Mick Powell's bread and butter. And there we are, a Mick Powell hat-trick. I can hear the comments singing at me now. My word, it might be time to give that man a run in the team again. Mick Powell has done a Mick Powell, and I couldn't be happier. I am very pleased with the result and your performance. Mick Powell's in double figures for the season. Happy days. Goodness me. I think we're also back up into an automatic promotion spot as well, which that's not even the headline here. The headline is the return of Mick Powell. Mick Powell is back, boys and girls. Right, when are we going to be back? We're going to be back for Posh and Wigan. Local derby and another one of the big teams in the division. Plus the transfer window is going to be open then, so we'll have an idea of what business we're going to be doing. Goalkeeper, anyone? Or probably the sale of Connor Stanley, which is going to be the really sad part. But we'll be back for Posh on Sunday. If you have enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.